Hey, Spuddies, PotatoMcWhiskey here, and welcome back to Civilization 6 in the Maori Urban Complexity game. And it's actually been a couple of weeks since I've played this game, so I kind of forget what I was doing in it. But I know we were generally doing a few things. We're about to get conservation, so I think it's starting to get some builders and throwing them down in like everywhere that I can build forests, like is kind of the thing that makes sense to me here. To Pokowihi, I would like a civic square, I reckon, although there's not that many forests in here. So probably the best thing for this city to do is to become a gold production city with a harbor and a commercial hub. And I reckon that is the way we'll do things. Now, I remember there was like a small bug, which means I'm able to put lumber mills and get the Maori's bonus. Because I swear it was for unimproved tiles only. But like, yeah, somehow I'm getting like the full benefit, and it's gonna only get better when I get the next, civic. Whatever. Let's throw down the brewery in here. We're continuing to steal money from the Zulu. And I reckon I'll send my next spy over to the Zulu as well to steal from him. Because I don't have a reason to steal from anyone else right now. Because I don't think they really even have, commercial hubs. Yeah, not many people actually have commercial hubs. So it looks like the Zulu is just like the best choice for me here. There's conservation. And now we should be able to start planting woods. Oh my god, look at that 6 production forest. That's disgusting. There's an 8 production forest over here. I think there's a little bit of a bug right now that I'm benefiting from, whereby I shouldn't be getting the benefit of both my things. I suppose I'll pick up the Enlightenment. I want civil engineering so that I can get better builder charges. And then I also want opera and ballet for the next tier of cultural building. But for now, we'll be fine. But yeah, unlocking conservation gave me access to resource management, the sanctuary, the naturalist, and some envoys. So nothing too extreme or different. I just got the Museum of Archaeology in Opango. That gives artifacts, gives culture to things, and I should be able to train archaeologists in here. I may just go ahead and purchase that archaeologist just to get that going, because I find slowly building an archaeologist takes a very, very long time. I do have a governor established in this city, so perhaps going for the academy, which gives bonus science based on the number of promotions your governor has in the city, could be quite good. But then again, the university also gives extra science based on the adjacency, but the academy is better base science. So I feel like in this particular city, an academy is really, really nice. And the question is, do I want a zoo or a botanical garden? Let's see, the botanical garden is worth +2 tourism, +1 amenity from entertainment. It gives me an extra citizen slot, and it will also spread the amenity, but it does not stack with the zoo, whereas the zoo does the same thing, but it gives extra bonus resources to pastures and camps. I'm going to grab the botanical garden. I think this mod got an update between when I started playing this game and when I'm now continuing it. So I think I'm going to go for the academy and the harbor here. Let's get my infrastructure up. Oh my god, 6 food, 1 culture, and 1 faith on this tile. That's absurd. I'm working on flight, right? Just trying to remember. Yeah, we're on industrialization and that leads to flight, so we want to pick up flight to be able to start generating tourism from all the forests that we're going to plant. I'll use my military engineer to finish the dam in Whanganui. So it might be a good idea to build a cistern. We have our industrial zone. The cistern would give us extra housing, and we do need the extra housing, so I'll slowly get to work on a cistern here. Although, wasn't I going to go... Oh yeah, I was going to go for the Ruhr Valley in here. So what I actually need to do is to buy a windmill and a watermill and a factory. So yeah, I'll work on the cistern and then buy these things. The windmill gives extra production to trade routes, but also gives standard adjacency of next to coast terrain and hills. And then the watermill, +1 production from every district in the city adjacent to a river. Oh, that seems pretty good. And the industrial zone itself will get a standard adjacency from being next to the river. And it currently already has a +4, so definitely want to get a watermill in here. I'll save up for that. I think it should be about 700 gold for the windmill, 600. So yeah, I should be able to buy it next turn. Part of me is tempted to just plant forests on this island and not do what I was going to do here, but we'll work primarily water tiles in here. And even the tundra woods tiles become insane. Kaiapoi got its cistern. Let's go ahead and place the harbor in here, and that'll make sure that district is placed. It would be good to get a granary to allow the city to continue to grow, because working more tiles would be good. I also need builders in here. I need builders down here in general, but I can get this guy to come over and help, and then that extra builder will kind of run around improving those tiles. Got the harbor in Otarapa. Don't need much in here except a builder to plant forests, so I'll grab that for now, because I can forest all 4 of these tiles, and then maybe get a national park. And I got my archaeologist that I can grab. some of these artifacts. Coupe artifact, very cool. And I can use the final charge of this military engineer to get that cistern going a little bit quicker. I mean, it's not going to be instantaneous, but slow and steady progress on your districts is always very nice. Unit needs orders, boom. All these forests and fisheries. Oh my god, look at these fisheries. Jesus. The world enters into the industrial era. Cool, and Zulu seems to be acknowledging that I am a light of civilization with my extremely high things. So I just picked up, the hell did I just pick up again? Ah, yes, the Enlightenment. So this gives us rationalism, as well as free market, as well as liberalism, and religious tourism halving. Make our dedication for the industrial era. I reckon we have a decent number of trade routes. We're trading fairly internally, but also internationally. So I do feel like that reform the coinage here is a right move, but also Heartbeat of Steam could also be quite good. We are building some wonders. Campuses giving production seems good. I think I'm going to go for the gold from reform the coinage though, because that is a decent amount of gold, and it's going to mean that my trade routes are just going to be better in this era for a while. Let's use our gold now to purchase the watermill in this city. Boosh, the city's production went up to 25 here, and when I refresh it again, it's now 28, and the adjacency bonus on this district, I thought it would go up, but I guess I misunderstood how that works. Huh, interesting. Oh yeah, it is +5 now, it just hasn't updated. Nice. So it's actually a +5 industrial zone, which means in theory, I could actually quite happily plug in the... where is it? I could happily plug in craftsmen if I wanted to. Maybe I don't care about retainers and I plug in craftsmen instead. Then again, limes are going to be important now, so I think I will plug in limes and maybe take out veterancy and then plug in craftsmanship, and that's going to like rework. I don't think I need settlers anymore. I think I will take harbor adjacency. And if I throw in Republican legacy, this will take care of some housing and amenities for me. And I think now is the time where we start like massively just building walls across my entire empire in order to hit those milestones. We want to start getting the tourism from the walls, because that little bit of passive tourism you get from walls, it's not much, but it does make a difference. All right, there's civil engineering, so we could plug in public works. And we will do that because it'll make builders cheaper and more efficient. And then we'll come on here. And now that we have industrialization, we're going to basically beeline straight to flight, because that'll start getting us more tourism. We want to like hit that mid-game tourism. It's Santa Cruz. Boosh. What do you do? Forms an armada out of a military unit. Not the most useful of great admirals, but I'll take it. Pretty much everywhere, like the entirety of the production of my civilization now is going exclusively towards the production of walls, and like that's the only thing I'm working on. As well, not the only thing, like, because obviously I'm still working on some stuff, but I mean, like, as stuff finishes, I'll be working on that exclusively. Already got full Renaissance walls in here. I could get the arsenal, which would be cool. I could also get the mansion or the cabinet. I feel like the cabinet's the right one, because I don't have a governor in this city, and the cabinet gives amenities. Don't have my harbor in here. This city is basically fine the way it is. Do I want to build... I could build Mont Saint-Michel, which I guess means I could get religious relics if I went for Mont Saint-Michel, and this naturally gives it a little bit of its own passive tourism. It is a 51 production city, so I could get it relatively quickly. Unless I wanted to work on the pleasure pier instead, and I can get a pretty damn good pleasure pier. Yeah, let's get our harbors. Let's get our harbor and our pleasure pier in here and not get distracted by wonders. We want to get our infrastructure up. Although, how badly? I really want a museum of archaeology in here. Ah, man, I'm really stuck for choices. Let's get the harbor up. We are working some coastal tiles. It is worth it to improve coast tiles. I spent an awful lot of time just like hemming and hawing about what I do in this city. All right, we just finished up using that archaeologist, and we grabbed... Oh, Mexico has been defeated. That's unfortunate. But we grabbed another relic. We have 3 now, which I'm quite happy about. We're starting to build up that tourism. I'd like to hit 100 tourism here in the next few turns, and then I'd start feeling pretty happy, which is going to happen, though, because I am working on walls pretty much everywhere, which is kind of neat. Ancient walls everywhere. I don't remember where the settler was meant to go. All I know is I was meant to make a settler. Well, I guess he can go down and colonize that little island for me. I have a privateer I can use to protect him. Let's get the naturalist in here. Make sure, yep, we have all those tiles. We just need a little bit more appeal. Why is the appeal so low in this city? It should be 1. I need to place 2 forests. That's why the appeal is so low. Makes sense. Bulweo, I will gain sources in this city in order to increase my success chance with my spy missions before I actually make an attempt to pull off a spy mission like a spy steal. And gold is almost always what you want to be stealing, because on deity difficulty the AI gets, I think, an 80% gold production boost So if you're stealing gold from the AI on higher difficulties, not only are they going to like be producing more gold just due to the fact that their cities are bigger and more productive, but that huge boost means that, you know, it's the most efficient thing you can steal from them. Here's opera and ballet. We have the Grand Ball of Arts, +1 if the city. So this is the extra culture from buildings and civic squares. It gives you +1 culture from per building if your population is 15 or higher, which is a bonus I kind of like, or +1 if the district has at least +4 adjacency. I prefer that scaling than the percentage one. Personally, I'm a big fan of linear scaling rather than percentile ones. We got symphonies here, great musicians, and Bolshoi Theater looks fairly normal. Awards to randomly chosen civics. I think I would like to build and work on that, because it only has to be on a flat land adjacent to a civic square, and that's a lot of culture to get out of that. We also have the Opera House, which I think I've talked about before. +1 culture for each great work in the city, and then the yields from the civic square are higher if you are. So this is the tourism-y one. So we definitely want to be like maybe surrounding our civic squares with high appeal tiles like forests, because that way we can get tourism from the Grand Hotel. Now the difference is here, the Grand Hotel generates tourism itself, but it does not have many room for great works, whereas the Opera House has room for a great work of music, great work of writing. It gives amenities. It gives citizen slots. Yeah, we're gonna have to make some decisions here about how exactly where and when we do certain things, because we obviously want to have some slots. All right, let's go ahead and purchase the workshop here. +1 production per promotion of a governor in the city, or we can go for the manufactory. Let me have a look here. What is the choice again? This has more citizen slots and more citizen yields, whereas this is better if you have a governor in the city. Now, do I want the manufactory or the workshop? I feel like the manufactory here is appealing to me slightly better, because Liang only has like 1 promotion. So if I went for the workshop, it's like +1 production here, whereas the workshop itself also has inherent production, whereas the manufactory kind of requires you to actually work this tile. I mean, we have fairly good food surplus in here, so it might not be the worst thing to have a really strong manufactory. So let's do manufactory. Boom, done. Now we're going to get to work on the factory. That's going to give me 0.3 production per turn for each citizen in the city. So it's got scaling production based on our population, which is pretty powerful. Domestic trade routes gain +1 production. +12 production baseline, it looks like. +2 when powered. Bonus production equal to the adjacency bonus. So I think I actually have really high adjacency bonus here. And I think that's where that 12 production is coming from. And then it also gives it extra 2 power when powered. 2 production when powered. And yeah, this just seems really, really good. Get to work on that factory. How much is it to buy the factory? I may just purchase the factory next turn. I'm gonna like work on something dumb like the hammer works, or maybe the orchard. Does this city need? Ooh, that's my question. Does this city need growth? This city has a watermill, so I can actually build this a little bit quicker. Or do I want the orchard to increase the growth of this city, and then that would in turn allow me to work more specialists? Oh, that's actually a tough choice, man. I feel like I constantly am presented with tough choices in this version of the game. Well, if we look at the city has relatively good growth, but it also scales really well off of growth, because I'm going to have a lot of really highly useful specialist slots. So I think I'll go ahead and grab the orchard in here, and I think that's the right choice. Go for the growth. Renaissance walls, medieval walls, pop down this forest, and now we can place the national park. Boom. It's worth 4 era score, which is delightful. I don't know if I want to put another Nazca line here. I think I would put it here maybe, because that way it hits 2 tiles. Right, we're going to settle this city. I don't love this city, to be honest, but it's an okay city. We will go granary first, and then possibly fishing wharf. We'll let the city slowly churn away. I'm going to grab myself now a naturalist and then buy this tile, and then that will be another national park generating me tourism. Up to 104 tourism per turn, which is what I would want it to hit in the next few turns, and so we have managed to pull it off. I like setting goals and hitting them, I don't know. It's a satisfying thing to be able to do. That's why I find my life so miserable, because I can never achieve my goals. No, I'm just kidding. I have pretty much achieved. I have achieved my pinnacle. I just need to, you know what? We need to go for 1 million subs. That's the dream. All right, let's come into Whanganui, and we will go ahead and buy the factory. Boosh. Now it's up to 51 production. I'm not sure why this is giving me 12 production. Like, that's a little bit of a mystery to me, because this is only a 5 adjacency thing. So, like, maybe this just hasn't updated, and now it's working all of these tiles. So how much are these specialists worth, actually, is the question. Each of these specialists is worth 6 production. Good God. Let's make sure we prioritize a little bit of food in this city, because as awesome as that is, we still need to grow. So I'm going to say prioritize food. I will tell the city to prioritize food, and it should, in turn, make sure that we are hitting our growth milestones in there, because growth is important. Let's pop a brewery down here. This city isn't going to be super useful for anything, to be honest. But maybe it'll produce some useful resources. Who knows? All right, time for the next national park. Beautiful. +3 era score. We can delete all those pins. Control, or is it Shift A? It's Shift A to place when you're using this pin mod, and then Shift D to delete. It's really, really helpful. Looks like my spy is leveled up. I will grab a license to kill. Pretty much any promotion will do. I mean, the only promotion I really care about are the things that reduce the chance that your spy is caught, things that increase the speed at which they do their missions, and then the things that give them more gold stealing. Because stealing gold is just insane. Like, I'm stealing, you know. Like, if I go over and check out that spy, there's astronomy. If I come over here and I click this spy, he's a fully leveled spy. He has a 99% chance to steal 1,000 gold every 8 turns. Like, that's huge. It's like 250 gold per turn. That's a massive, massive, massive amount. Kawiya has finished its harbor. And I'm curious, actually, about the appeal underneath this district. The appeal underneath this is actually breathtaking. So if I were to go for the Grand Hotel here, this would be a +3 adjacency theater square, which would be 3 tourism per turn, which isn't bad from a Grand Hotel. You know, it's equivalent to having another Renaissance Walls, which seems pretty good to me. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the cabinet, and then the Opera House and Museum Archaeology, all that sort of stuff, and then grab the Grand Hotel. Renaissance Walls. We got our preserve in Kapiti, and we have our walls fully built. I think we would like builders in here, so I'll work on a grove, or maybe a builder then a grove. Plant forests. The appeal should climb. We'll do the same thing in Munkau, whatever this is called. Mangikapa. It's hard to pronounce these city names. Renaissance walls, medieval walls, and Boosh. Just planting forests, building walls. That's my whole civilization right now. I know this isn't going to be a very good city, but it's kind of fun to settle these like dumb little island cities, in my opinion. I enjoy it. I think it's fun. So that's why I do it. Any like open terrain over here? There's some coal here I could nab, as well as a few luxuries. How much is it to purchase a settler? It's 2,400 gold. I might save for that, we'll see. A few open islands down here with coal and stuff on them. Very like a very, you know, delicately shaped island with a boomerang nearby. It's like that's this universe's version of Australia, just a man's penis and a boomerang, which is pretty much all I think of when I think of Australia, to be honest. Oh god, I misclicked. Apango has finished its harbor. And I know we were talking about some memes. Where is its civic quarter again? Because it has pretty okay appeal here. If I were to plant a forest on this tile... Oh, good Christ, where is the feckin' forest button? Am I blind? This is like such a meme. It's like 3,000 hours in Civilization 6 defeated by a tooltip menu. You know what I mean? Yeah, but if I were to grab the Grand Hotel in here and plant a forest there, this would actually be quite a good bit of tourism. But then again, do I want the Opera House in Opango? Because I do already have some great works in here. So if I grab the Opera House, that's worth quite a bit of culture, you know? +1 trade route capacity would be great right now. And I'm also working a lot of coastal tiles, so I will actually work on the harbour over everything else. The most returns, the most early, I think is the most fun way to play. So I did get an entrepot in this city, and I had wanted to get an industrial zone in Temutu, not this city. We were going to build a pleasure pier, specifically right there, because that's the +2 pleasure pier. We got another builder down here, which is exactly what the doctor ordered. And perhaps a watermill? Orchard? Orchard feels right down here, as does a watermill. So I'll go watermill. Let's see. I don't think I care about the fishing dock. I think I want the trade routes. Trade routes are like massive in this game. So the earlier and the more and the earlier I can get them, the better. Although that does require me to, you know, remember to build those trade routes. But as long as, you know, one step at a time, okay? I swear to, I think the actual most common thing, like comment-wise on my channel has been, oh my god, Potato, you forgot to use your trade, you've like 7 empty trade routes. Like, I feel gaslit sometimes because I'm playing a game and I'm certain I've actually built my trade routes. And there will be a comment that says, Potato, you forgot your trade routes. And I'm like, I know I built that trade route. And I genuinely feel like that there's like a secret meme going around on my channel that people will just like say I forgot my trade routes, and then I'll like scan through the video, and then I'll see like, oh, 5 out of 7. But sometimes I'll scan through the video and I don't find any missing trade routes. So I feel like you guys are gaslighting me. You guys are just saying it in some videos just to like trigger the fuck out of me. And it's working, okay? It's working. All right, we got our Renaissance walls in the capital. Do I want to continue to produce settlers? Because if I do, I could plug in the settler cart right now and get the last few little cities down here. Do I care that much? I did want a city down here. I mean, it's not a bad little island. Did I want to send any more over here? I mean, yeah. You know what? I'll get 3 more settlers. Boosh, boosh, boosh. We'll plug in the settler cart and we'll let the chips fall where they may. We got our orchard in Whanganui. Let's get to work on the Ruhr Valley. Not the greatest Ruhr Valley in the history of civilization, but a damn sight better than some of the Ruhr Valleys that I've seen the AI build. So, you know, I'm not gonna take this nonsense from you guys. Yeah, ancient walls in here. Great. My tourism is already almost up to 200 per turn, which is something to be super proud of. Do I want to build a camp? Sure. Feck it, I'll build a camp. Boom, fishing boats. I really enjoy culture bombs. It's one of my favorite mechanics in the game. It's one of those mechanics that feels really, really right. Like, it's so satisfying to have your borders pop and expand, and like, I don't know. I don't know why it's so satisfying, but it is. It's just a really, really satisfying mechanic. It's awesome. We got our trade dock in Opango. I totally forgot to be getting ancient walls in here, so we'll get to work on those. Pop down a fishery in between these 2 boys. Boom, get that niter mine online. And I should probably I will accept your research agreement, sir. Want a little bit of extra science. Now we have scientific theory, so we have access to laboratories, which give you 0.3 science per turn per each citizen in the city, so really good population scaling there. And we have the Liberal Arts College, which gives you extra science from every great work in the city, which is also really cool. Could be potentially very powerful in my particular game here. Although, actually, the Maori are not like super amazing at generating great works because they skip great writings. So we also have access to urbanization, which is giving us access to public transport, which is cool. Military research, which you definitely want to plug in at some point because we are building a bunch of Renaissance walls to make up for our low science. The casino, I think we've talked about a little bit. +1 tourism for each wonder built in the city adjacent to the coast. And then the neighborhood itself. And I think the neighborhood can still build buildings, right? It's got the food market and the shopping mall. The shopping mall gives +4 tourism. It's not an amazing amount of tourism, but it is a good way to convert production into tourism. So we'll probably go for some neighborhoods here or there. Let's see. Scorched Earth gives me access to the prison. Extra charge to all builders and military engineers. Lower spy efficiency and some production. That's kind of neat. Tempted by that. We'll go for mass media though, because we do want the Cristo Redentor if we're going to do any seaside resort kind of stuff. Medieval walls in Apango. We got our cabinet in Kahia. And I think I wanted to get the Grand Hotel because the appeal on this tile was really, really high. And so that's going to generate tourism. Once we have flight, and we are working on flight, so getting that ASAP seems like a good move. Similarly, in Ngarawaria, we've got a few choices. I would like to get a neighborhood. Maybe if I start it now. Problem is the lack of food in this city. That's something I'm struggling a little bit with. And I have the city focused on food. Maybe if I take off the production focus and tell the city to focus just a little bit more on food. Yeah, we can work the harbor to get extra food. I think that makes sense. And eventually when we get the seaports... Oh god, where are the seaports? Have I forgotten? I don't know, we'll see. I forget. What is the tier 3 building in this mod? Harbor. Tier 3 building. Trade dock is tier 1, as is the fishing dock. And I think it's cruise terminal. Extra citizen slot gold from the citizen slots, mutually exclusive with the seaport. Okay, we'll cross these bridges when we come to it because that's a little bit too much complicated brain math for me right now. But yeah, we'll lower the city's production in exchange for a little bit of extra growth. We'll get the city to make a trader or two, because I do want to make sure that I have at least a trade route with every civilization, which I think I do have, or at least I'm close to having. It's hard to remember exactly what I was doing, because again, it's been a few days since I played this save file. Duplicates. I want my trade routes to be better, so I'll put like 3 votes into that. I'd like duplicate of... I actually don't know what dupes I have. Duplicates of cotton would be cool. Let's try to vote up cotton. I'll put 5 votes into that. 5 votes, not a huge amount. It's an under-committal, but it's a small commitment. So it looks like Jade no longer gives luxuries, and Mansa Musa won the thing, which is fine. In the Garawaya, Did I forget to tell you to build a thing? Were you not making traders for me? Am I dumb? Maybe one of my trade routes got pillaged. Harbor or monument, ancient walls, medieval walls. You got your Renaissance walls, perfect. You have an industrial zone next to a river, so that's a water mill for me. Do you want any more districts? It probably would be a good idea to get a civic square. Civic square does well next to districts and specifically fairgrounds. Let's get the cistern and dam in here instead. It's just the city needs a bit of work. Finally, we can start planting these forests that I wanted to, and we'll start getting the appeal. Can I now perhaps get my naturalists in the city? We must be close. The appeal like here, it's a 3. That's a 2, so I need one more forest plant and then I can do that one. I'll buy this tile and also get a naturalist here and make sure that all 4 of these tiles are owned by the right city, and then we can get another national park. Lovely. I love it when a plan comes together correctly. Let's go ahead and steal gold in Bulawayo, or whatever it's called. Playing fast and loose. And it looks like our open borders with Norway has run out. So we will talk to Norway and buy their delicious borders. We should also sell off all of these luxury resources that we have excess of. So let's just let's go through the list. Click accept on everyone who will buy some. Looks like nobody wants the other excess resources. How about, does anyone want my niter, my horses, and my iron? You want a little bit of niter and iron. You want some horses. You want some niter. You want some horses. You want some... There you go. All right, boom. We sold off all our resources, which is now making us a very pretty penny from a girl whose name was Jenny. Yes, Norway, we can be friends, okay? Just stop texting me at 2 a.m. Oh, right. I need to put a forest here for the Grand Hotel, or whatever it's called. Okay. Boosh, boom, natural park place, bang, 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 bong, running there. You forest as well, boosh, another national park. So that's the double park. Boop, 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 boop. Perfect. Very high yields. And now the Grove absolutely makes sense in this city. I will finish that commercial hub real quick, and then I'll get the Grove. You know what? Let's buy the Grove. Let's buy the Grove. Look at these yields. Look at them. We'll buy the Sanctuary as well. Oh my God. Look at these yields. This isn't even my final form. I don't have open borders with Arabia either. So let's just do quick mutual. Anyone else I'm missing? Open borders with you. Have open borders. And it's important to get your open borders because it's worth 25% tourism pressure, right? If you go into here, you check your culture map mode, you hover over someone, 25% tourism boost for having open borders. It's quite good, right? It's why I have 14 tourists right now. Or at least it's in part why I have that many. The other reason is that I'm playing the Maori and I've colonized almost the entire world. Alright, Renaissance walls in Opango. We got our pleasure pier in Farakara. And I think, did we want to get the marina? I think it was a marina in here because the marina gets +1 tourism for every fishing boat improvement in the city, and also +1 amenity for every fishing boat improvement adjacent to this district, and +1 culture to every fishing boat. Whereas the Ferris wheel was just a bonus amenity extending in range. And I think the marina kind of lined up really well with what I wanted to do in this city. And I need housing in here. And I think the best way to get housing in a city like this is a neighborhood, a +6 neighborhood on the coastline right there. So yeah, we'll get to work on that. We got the trade dock in Otarapa. I think I'm going to continue to build up the harbor. The shipyard would give me +1 production on coast tiles. The entrepot is good for trading. Is this city? I can't remember if this was an entrepot city. Who knows at this point? Who knows? Where am I trading? So Kapiti to Machu. I know Farakara was one. And Kapiti was one. So that means this one isn't one. Which means I don't have to build an entrepot here. I could go for the Haven. The Haven is worth a lot of gold. The entrepot is cool. 6 gold housing. The Haven is 6 gold housing and all that sort of stuff. But it's extra money. It's a lot more money from the Haven compared to the shipyard, which is more production-y based. Then again, what's the adjacency here? And I am running the double adjacency card. So I feel like shipyards are just kind of like grossly good for my empire for production purposes. But man, that Haven. I mean, most of my production is actually coming from these land tiles that are like disgustingly good for me. So I'm going to go for the Haven for the extra gold. We got our Renaissance walls in Whanganui-Atara. I would love to get my civic square up, but I won't be able to do that till next turn. So I tell you what, I'll put a couple turns into a trader here. Now, I don't remember what this trader was doing, but I presume that I have a trade route with every civ in the game. I have Harold, Shaka, Pachacuti, and Saladin. The only one I'm missing is Mansa Musa. So I'll put this over here and see if we can hit Mansa Musa from here now. We might have to like try to build up trading posts or something. We'll see. I might have to send it from here. Oh, Carvel has decided to come out of the fog of war and cause me some trouble down here. Lovely. It's my favorite thing ever. I don't know why the Inca are running around here with a giant military. Like, go away. Leave me alone. I don't need this. All right, lovely. There's St. Basil's Cathedral, +1 food, +1 production, +1 culture, and all tundra tiles in this city. And this city is almost exclusively made up of tundra tiles. That is a thumbnail-worthy picture right there. And with that said, I'll call that the end of the video. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.